Hello friends, welcome to another reel by Bharat Raghu. Today we are just remembering Sitaram Yechury, the great left leader, of course, who had died last year, and we are like celebrating 1 year of his death anniversary. He had died of respiratory illnesses. He was one of the leading lights of the left movement in India. So let's look at briefly at his, at his life. And this book is a very good read of collection of essays, basically whatever he's written on multiple topics. So praxis of a socialist, so praxis basically is like a term which means practice. How do you practice of a socialist essays? Okay, let's get started. Who was this man, Sitaram Yechury? Sitaram Yechury was basically from Andhra that time, undivided Andhra, and he was actually the CBSE topper. And of that year, it was around 1970s when he was the CBSE topper. He goes to Delhi. He's studying, in St. Stephen's, and after that, then the emergency comes. And when the emergency comes, he's actually, along with other students, he's in JNU by then, and he is arrested. And he, and along with other comrades of his, friends across party lines, they're arrested by the police, and then of course he is released. And there's a famous photo. I can put that in the links, where Sitaram Yechury and all the other JNU colleagues, they go to Indira Gandhi after the emergency is lifted, and she's like lost the election, and so she needs to resign as the chancellor. So he goes, and the list of the demands of the students, including that that she should resign as the chancellor, things like that. So it's a very famous photo of the young Yechury, and a smiling, like she's just admiring the way they are reading all these list of demands, that is Indira Gandhi. So this is how his journey starts, and he's of course the SFI Student Federation leader. He joins the Communist Party, India Marxist, and he very quickly rises up the ranks into the Central Committee and then to the Politburo. So he has a very remarkable rise, and then of course goes on to be the General Secretary of the party, and that's the post he was. Unfortunate demise which happened last year till then. Okay, so let's look at what was his main contribution in national politics. So Sitaram Yechury is one of his guru, as you can see. He calls, like, he has two gurus. One is Jyoti Basu, of course, the famous Jyoti Basu of Bengal. The other is Harkishan Singh Surjit, the freedom fighter, the Sardar, the left leader, the great Harkishan Singh Surjit. Now he learns the art of coalition building from Surjit. So he plays a pivotal role. So this happens around the 1990s. The mid 1990s was the time, as we know, when this was the part of fractured mandates. So Congress was losing its steam. Congress was on the downhill. BJP was not yet able to get a majority with its allies, the NDA, what they were later they went on to form, but they were not able to get. So this was the era of fractured mandate, where in 1996, when the left was left and the other forces came together, and they formed like a united front government. Of course, even Jyoti Basu was famously offered the prime ministership, which he declined, which his party declined, because they thought they couldn't influence policy making with so many less MLAs or so they wanted someone with more stronger influence. But this was the era of coalition politics, where he learned the art of how do you deal with multiple regional parties, multiple regional interests from Surjit. And this he goes on. He was a student back then in learning this coalition politics from the Ustad, of course, Surjit, who put up coalitions, and they had partners like, and then they were going to the prime minister, and then there were others also. Next comes the phase of 2004, and this is where he plays the most important role, especially when he, along with Sonia Gandhi, and they together, it is of course the other left leaders are there, the other, there are a lot of other congressmen involved, but it is mainly these two figures, Sonia Gandhi and Sitaram Yechury, who come together and put together this left coordination UPA, left UPA kind of a coordination, and they have a committee as well. So this time the left has almost 60 MPs. Of course, it doesn't join the government because it doesn't want to be seen as supporting, whatever the capitalist government. And then back in states, West Bengal and Kerala, they are, they have policies which is against this framework. So they kind of want to stay away, but they give outside support. They support the UPA government, and this UPA 1 2004 would not have been formed if not for the collaboration between the left and the UP. And that's where even this there are lots of pro people bills which come about. Right to information, as we know, right? RTI, the Forests Act, the right which gives the forest areas to be protected, the tribal rights, things like that. Food security also is envisioned at that time. So these are these great, of course, Manrega. The greatest is the Manrega, which is a rural employment guarantee scheme, which gives 100 days kind of guaranteed employment in rural areas. So this gives like a safety net. So these rights based policy approach is the brainchild of especially Sitaram Yechury and Sonia Gandhi, and they form this left UPA coordination group. Of course, this doesn't last too long after, and as the US India nuclear deal is in, and the left is not able to back the Congress on it. But of course, Sitaram Yechury remains this bridge builder between the Congress, the left, and all other parties, and he continues it even after. So the next big his role comes. He's in the Rajya Sabha, and he is one of the most vocal critics of the current regime. When the government comes in 2014, so he factually, without name calling, he knows how to pin down the government and make them accountable for major issues. That is one. Of course, the brainchild of this India alliance, which took place last 2023-24, when all the other regional parties and Congress come together and form this India bloc. Sitaram Yechury had a major role to play in this, as even acknowledged by Rahul Gandhi. He was one of the pillars of the India bloc, architects you can call it. So he was, even this kind of a name, what it came about. So there was a lot of brainchild or this was the brainchild of Sitaram Yechury, Rahul Gandhi. So he had this very good rapport with Sonia Gandhi, which helped the functioning of the UPA, all the rights-based bills. Also, he had a very good rapport with Rahul Gandhi, who Rahul Gandhi called him a friend, a philosopher. He was very close to Sitaram Yechury, and just even the day when he was admitted to the hospital, it was Rahul Gandhi and his team who had, asked him to go and get admitted to the hospital because of serious respiratory illnesses, and he had listened to him, and Rahul's team went and got him. So basically, there's a very close bond between the Gandhis and Yechury, and Yechury was the symbol of secularism, socialism, and democracy. There is no compromise when it comes to Sitaram Yechury on democracy, socialism, and secularism. He was the lover of Bollywood movies, lover of old Hindi classics, Kishore Kumar songs. He was this old charm kind of a person, and that's how he's fondly remembered by the entire opposition and even the ruling establishment, remembering Sitaram Yechury on his death anniversary.